Today was a day that I absolutely have been waiting for because I'm super curious to hear what Kevin O'Connell had to say about this whole Carson Wentz ordeal. You know, on Thursday night, we've beaten this horse to death, but the truth of the matter is, all of us witnessed something that just wasn't right, bruh. Like when you look at Carson Wentz out there, you just felt bad for him. Regardless of how you feel about him as a player, you felt like there was no chance to win with him regardless. And we're going to get to that too, because that's a whole nother point right there is, we felt as a fan base that this game wasn't winnable with a healthy Carson Wentz. Let's start there with a 100% perfectly healthy Carson Wentz. But this video isn't to bash Carson Wentz or try to say anything bad about him. Let's talk about what Kevin O'Connell did and why he did it, because today was the day he had to come up out of hiding. We had to hear about it. There's a clip that he did on K-Fan. It's a little 20-second clip. We're going to play this. We're going to react to it, and then we're going to get into some more. But let's check it out, man. Let's hear what our boy, Kevin O'Connell, had to say today.
But he had, consulted with, a lot of people involved to make sure, first and foremost, because we weren't going to let him back on the field if he could possibly hurt himself more. And once that was determined that he couldn't, then it was more about Carson and his individual kind of decision to, do what he thought was best, where as a head coach, you just have to be supportive.
So here's my thing, Kevin O'Connell. He consulted with family, whatever the case may be. And anybody who's watching this, if you're a competitor, you kind of know, right? As a competitor, you're going to want to play. But this is where my issue lies with this whole thing right here is, Kevin O'Connell, you are the head coach. You have to step in. Sometimes you have to protect your players. I mean, what you're doing with JJ McCarthy seems as if you're protecting him. Why not give Carson Wentz the same respect? His agent had to come out and pretty much say, hey, look, man, Carson Wentz is going to undergo surgery so that we avoid any situation where he gets put back out on that field. Because what we saw happen on Thursday night, it just wasn't right. And Carson Wentz shouldn't have been playing. Regardless of what he said, who cares what he tells you? He's lying. The man should not have been playing. I don't care if it was an injury that couldn't get worse. It was already bad, my brother. And coming from somebody who really supports Kevin O'Connell, I got to say, like, this whole week, this whole pretty much season, man, to be honest with you, it just seems like there's been a dark cloud. Now, I give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because the quarterback situation in Minnesota it's been a mess, bro. It just seems like it's been a mess since he's gotten here, too. He had one clean year with Kirk Cousins and then a year with Sam Darnold that I feel like was an anomaly because nobody expected Sam Darnold to play the way he did. And then it just turned out to be a pretty fun season to watch. I'll say it was one of the best seasons that I've seen as a Minnesota Vikings fan. And there's more, 2017 was one, but I'm just saying it was a fun time to be a Vikings fan last year. It was with Sam Darnold. It really was. But, let's get into a couple more things that was said. Okay. Here it was, man. Kevin O'Connell said, there was never a point in time where medically we were going against the grain of what was in Carson's best interest and ultimately what Carson wanted to kind of see through. All right. KOC said Wentz played through the injury as long as the shoulder was stable. He then made the decision to get surgery after Thursday night's game. See, and I can't buy that. I can't buy that because I think a lot of Vikings fans right now, including myself, what we're looking for is a leader, somebody who can step in. All this collaboration BS, it sounded good at the beginning when Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah came in and Kevin O'Connell came in and they were like, hey, man, we're going to go around the building and ask everybody what we should do for every single situation. Nobody's going to be bigger than the program, right? No one person is going to be bigger than the program. But I think as we're seeing what's going on around Vikings world, man, that doesn't work. We need to change the formula up. Somebody has to drag them. Somebody has to drag them, man. That's period. That's point blank. This isn't working. It's too nice around there, man. There's too many hands in the kitchen. There is. And this right here, man, this was nasty work, man. What happened, man? I was talking to Realistic Randy. We did our show on Purple Parlor, and I was saying, look, not that it would have made any difference on the action, but if this would have happened on a noon game, during a noon game on a Sunday, it would have been a little different because it wouldn't have been under a microscope and people would have had to actually go research to see how bad it actually was and what actually happened. But the fact that it was on primetime, Amazon, shout out Amazon, Thursday night, the whole world was able to tap in and see. And it just doesn't look good for Kevin O'Connell, man. The Vikings community right now is just losing respect for our guy KO, a guy that we once loved, that we once believed in. And I'll say, RAP, man, I still believe in our coach. I do. I still believe in him. But, I mean, it's changing, and it's changing drastically. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to have to be some things that need to be done for him to regain a little bit of respect for me. Because, again, this right here was just flat out wrong. I don't care how you cut it. You can try to dice it and slice it however you want to slice it. But this was absolutely unnecessary, bro. And it goes back to the point we said, right? This game was unwinnable even with 100% Carson Wentz. So you're pretty much telling me you threw this guy out there knowing that the chances of winning are zero. You don't even want to give your team the best shot to win. You're not going to tell me that Max Brosmer couldn't have went in there and gave you a better shot to win this game because he was 100% healthy. I don't care if you had to hand the ball off 65 times and do checkdowns all game. I still feel like you could have been more productive with a UDFA because there's no excuse. He's in the NFL. He can hand the ball off, all right? Hey, remember the Patriots did it? Where Bill Belichick straight up said, bro, we're not throwing the ball at all. They threw the ball like 10 times all game, and they ran the ball the rest of the time. Yeah, you could have done that. You could have done that. Game plan around it. You have a quarterback going out there that you know isn't worthy of doing anything, man, at that stage, bro. He wasn't, man. Like, I'm ranting about it because it's irritating me again, all right? Look, man. Let's read one more, right? Shout out Vikings fan page. After Carson Wentz suffered his shoulder injury, medical experts confirmed that it couldn't make it worse. Though surgery would eventually be needed, Wentz understood that and expressed his desire to play through it every possible way he could. Kevin O'Connell said that he continued dialogue with Wentz after speaking with the medical team throughout the last few weeks about the injury. Friday morning, when Wentz arrived from LA, Wentz officially said it's time to get it fixed. When a guy is so committed and so all in and does not want to be taken off the field, you have to honor that. I have a problem with that. No, you don't. You do not have to honor that. Are you here to people please, or are you here to win football games? Are you here to put your team in the best possible situation and give your team the best opportunities to win football games? Or are you on here, are you the head coach, just to make Carson Wentz happy because you, quote unquote, honored his decision? He doesn't make decisions. That's where the issue lies, KO. You're a player's coach, but you're too much of a player's coach. You do not allow players to tell you what's the best thing to do to win football games. They shouldn't have that authority. They really shouldn't, bro. Like, that's a problem. Okay, that's why we need a man in there. Somebody who's going to drag him. Once again, man. Somebody who's going to drag him, man. This is embarrassing. So, as you know, the Minnesota Vikings now, we're in a situation where we are shopping for a backup quarterback or a quarterback 3, or some will say a quarterback 2. But, we have to bring insurance in now. You have to get an insurance plan. There isn't a lot of options out there. You're going to have to trade if you want to get somebody who has some type of talent. Because realistic Randy and I went through the list, and there's like 3 guys, and I'm gonna tell you wouldn't want any of them. It just doesn't matter. You might as well put Cam Akers in as QB2 if need be. It just doesn't make sense. Listen, I'm still holding on to some hope. JJ McCarthy comes back. Hey, prayers for Carson Wentz. Hope the surgery goes good, man. I pray that he has a clean recovery, man, and gets an opportunity to come back next year for whatever team he may play for, and he goes out there and he plays football like he wants to, like he desires. Because you know what? Kevin O'Connell, man, you owe Carson Wentz something, bruh. Not just an apology, not just coming on your media run today and just talking all this fluff talk, man. It's unnecessary, bro. Like, you should have just came out and just took accountability. Again, looking for accountability, and just said, man, I, as the head coach, shouldn't have had Carson Wentz out on that field after the second drive, after I noticed that he was just in excruciating pain. And this was he was suffering out there. I should have made the executive decision to pull him and put Max Brosmer in. That's what should have happened. You're protecting everybody else. You're protecting everybody else. I want to read one more thing, man. This right here kind of made me raise my eyebrows, right? And this was something that Alec Lewis talked about. He said, there's been underlying tension within the Vikings team since the spring, which this is a shock to me. Is it a shock to you? Because this shocked me. I would have never known, right? He added that the joy and energy that once defined Kevin O'Connell's successful seasons have noticeably faded. Dang, man. Shout out to the ones who have been, a year ahead of this curve right here. I still want to make it clear. I'm supporting KOC a little bit. I'm still considered maybe a KO supporter, and I'm cool with that. All right. If I got to stand on the hill by myself, I'm going to do it. That's just what it is. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm okay with the criticism about him. I will join you on with it because he deserves it. It's warranted. So, hey, go at it. Drop it in the comments how you feel about KOC and what do you think the Vikings should do as far as bringing in a backup quarterback, because with the evidence we have this season, we definitely need one, and that is a fact. I know everybody likes the Brosmer, man, but we still need a QB3. All right? Let me know how you feel. Holla at your boy.
Yeah, smooth summer, who running? I hear them talking, but they ain't gonna do nothing. Celebration, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.